Well, hello and welcome back to my channel. I thought I'd do a pre-recorded video. This case in WA is wild. So we don't have any live streaming footage because it's interesting. It's in the WA Supreme Court. It is not in a federal jurisdiction. I think if it was a federal jurisdiction, it'd be public interest. I do think that when a politician sues somebody that it should be public interest, because ultimately she's not doing her job as a centre at the moment, is she? She's serving her own interests. This is getting really, really wild because cross-examination started yesterday. It's now Thursday morning. It's going to continue today. And there was something that was stated by Linda Reynolds yesterday that is so wild. I cannot believe it. And this is the report from The Guardian, and I've seen this report from other, everybody's talking about it. She said she never agreed to keep letters she leaked to the columnist from the Australian newspaper Secret. Now, she said she was shown 2 letters by Higgins' lawyer, and from the Commonwealth, both marked confidential and subject to legal professional privilege. Now, it's not a rocket scientist to know that the word confidential means you don't tell anyone, and subject to legal privilege. I mean, I would suspect if the average Joe like myself would know that even before I started law school, you would assume that a senator in the federal government would know the same words. But apparently she doesn't. And it says here, well, she acknowledged in court that she would have seen the confidential and legal privilege applies, marking the first page. She did not consider herself bound to it because she hadn't signed it. Yes, you heard that right. She said, I haven't signed it, so therefore I don't need to share it. I don't need to. A letter sent from the Commonwealth lawyers on 6 December 2022 instructed Reynolds not to attend the upcoming mediation or make any public comment and maintain confidentiality about the details in order to give the Commonwealth best position to reach a resolution of mediation. In court on Wednesday, Reynolds said that the letter had made her very angry and she considered that the federal government was trying to lock her down. On the day of the mediation, Reynolds sent a letter from her personal email address to Jenna Orbison, a columnist at the Australian newspaper. Young said the confidentiality requirements still applied, despite Reynolds not signing the document or agreeing to its contents. The letter of confidentiality was never signed by me, so my recollection is, while they sent the proposal, what the Commonwealth wanted in terms of locking me down, I never agreed. So therefore, I had no particular concern about sending that to Miss Orbison. Young asked whether Reynolds understood that legal professional privilege could apply to documents regardless of whether the recipient signs them. And Reynolds replied, she did not. This is a member of our federal government, who I might add, she was at the time, she's not now, thankfully, was the defence minister. What else could she have leaked out? What was on the top of my mind was the fact I was not going to sign it. I hadn't signed an agreement to be locked down. An article by Orbison and another journalist at the Australian was published on the 14th of December titled Linda Reynolds Muzzled in Brittany Higgins' lawsuit defence and containing details of the confidential letters. Earlier on Wednesday, Reynolds had accused the Attorney General, Mark Dreyfus, of seeking to silence her. Reynolds claimed that she'd not given Higgins adequate support for her alleged in March 2019 was utterly defendable. My defence was to be no defence. I was outraged. As part of then there's a subpoena with some more documentation that they're going to have. In one message, so some text messages were also labelled. In one message, Reynolds pointed to by Reynolds' lawyer Martin Bennett, a former defence minister, texted a picture of herself in a jacket. Reynolds had earlier claimed that she thought she'd lost the jacket. The court was told Higgins was allegedly seeing the jacket after she left Reynolds' office following the alleged art. On the 6th of October 2022, when the criminal trial began, Reynolds texted a photo of Higgins in the white outfit to Eyebrow, followed by another picture of Kate Milton in a similar outfit. Ms. Higgins has a predilection for expensive clothes, including my jacket. And those messages, probably a little catty, and I was just a bit oversensitive about her imitating Kate Milton going to trial, Reynolds said. The defence cross-examination of the text messages is yet to commence. Apparently, there's been more context added to that it was actually, apparently it was, that jacket was thrifted and Brittany Higgins actually had bought it from a thrift shop. So it looks like Reynolds said she had been fearful of losing her job as position of defence minister. If you don't know what privileged and confidential means, you have no right to be a defence minister or a minister in any government. So then they discuss about the lying cow comment where she apologised, and she only apologised to Higgins to prevent further action. She told the defamation trial she felt like punching a punching clown on the fairground. She has also stated that she was in tears and had to be comforted by ScoMo. She's made herself out, in my opinion, to be the victim. And one of the other big things is here that that Brittany Higgins deliberately set out to, it says here, that there was a conspiracy to damage Reynolds' reputation, as if Brittany Higgins, you sort of get the impression that she is trying to allege that Brittany Higgins has deliberately put herself out there in this situation to bring her down. That's the impression that I get. Now, it could be wrong, and it's most likely to be wrong. But one of the things that is really shocking, is the fact that she thought that that it was a deliberate act. The other thing is that there's now allegations that the timelines have changed. So a statement today by Linda Reynolds in WA Supreme Court does not reflect what Fiona Brown has already stated. Reynolds told the court she met the AFP Commissioner Leanne Close on the 4th of April 2019, when Reynolds claims she was first informed of Higgins' alleged I was a little shocked. I was glad to hear Brittany had taken the matter up. Reynolds said, yet Fiona Brown had already stated she was comforted that Brittany had spoken to the police on Friday, 29th of March. Is Linda Reynolds now saying that Fiona Brown passed on the information? So this is the report, the timeline. So this was Friday, 29th of March, and then there's this one, 29th of March. Linda called the AFP in her name to report the incident. Low key. Lauren called. We spoke about reporting the incident without permission by B. Linda Reynolds with Fiona Brown. So what's now happening is the timelines have changed. Is now they have certain events that happen on different dates in their various statements. Regardless, the key question is, why were Linda Reynolds and Alex Hawke pressuring Fiona Brown on Thursday, 28th March, to go to the police if the first time they were aware of the potential SA was the April 4th? So it's interesting. Now, I might also add that the judge literally begged them to settle, begged Reynolds to settle, said this is no good's going to come out of this. And look, Higgins hasn't. Oh yeah, here we go. To settle, because said it was going to get nasty and it wasn't going to be pleasant. So this is here. Linda Reynolds tells the court she left question time and sobbed uncontrollably during the Brittany Higgins media frenzy. She experienced incredible pain at one point, left question time to the media scrutiny over Brittany Higgins' alleged R. She told a defamation trial she was incredulous to hear that Labor were intending to rain hell on the senator and the Morrison government over the allegations. She said that she felt chest pains after Higgins' allegations were published and recalled not being able to read or answer in question time. Everything was blurry. That's a dirty little secret about Parliament House. Politicians are human beings, she told the court. She also said there was a media frenzy after this story's publication, with the people in Parliament House looking at her differently and her own colleagues keeping a distance after she was accused of a political cover-up. Reynolds said she went from one day doing her job and doing it well. Well, if you don't know what's the difference between confidentiality and anyway, to be nationally vilified by someone who would do something despicable. She also said that Labor Senator Kimberly Kitchen, who has since died, approached her in the Senate chamber to let her know Labor had found out about Higgins' alleged R. Reynolds said Kitchen had told her Labor were intending to rain hell on the Senator and the Morrison government. While Reynolds said she did not consider Kitchen a friend, she described her as a trusted colleague. Reynolds said Kitchen had told her she had received an anonymous letter about the incident in the previous year and had passed it to the AFP. Reynolds said she remembered feeling a bit incredulous that Labor would even contemplate such a thing. Justice Paul Tottle paused Reynolds for a moment to remind her not to interpret the emotions of others, but to stick to what she said when she suggested Kitchen's decision to tell the AFP over her colleagues through Labor's ire. Reynolds said she'd planned to meet with the then Prime Minister, to let him know and intended to speak with the then Senate President Scott Ryan. She paused to drink some water, saying she was losing her voice and she could feel her blood pressure rising. She said the memory was particularly emotional for her as it led to Kitchen's death. The court temporarily adjourned while Reynolds' health improved and Kitchen died of a suspected heart attack in 2022. Reynolds also described the concern she felt when a Canberra Times journalist made an inquiry in April 2029 about an incident inquiry in October 2019 about an incident in early 2019. Reynolds said she immediately knew it was related to the incident with Bruce and Brittany. Reynolds arranged for her then Chief of Staff, Alexandra Kelton, to speak with Michaelia's Cash, then Chief of Staff, Daniel Ty. Higgins had taken the job in Cash's office as media advisor shortly after May 2019 federal election. The media inquiry never amounted to a story. Reynolds recalls asking Higgins when she left for the job in Cash's office whether Reynolds should mention the incident to Higgins' boss. She looked aghast and said, absolutely not. Reynolds said she felt sick when she saw an article revealing Higgins' allegation publicly for the first time. I was angry and upset. As I was going through reading this, I started to feel sorry for her because I started thinking, what have we missed? Reynolds later added she was angry at Higgins, but also very angry at myself and how we got it so wrong. Earlier, Reynolds said she met with AFP's Assistant Commissioner Leanne Close on Thursday, April 4th, in her office, when Reynolds claimed she was first informed about Higgins' alleged art. Now, we've already seen that paperwork contradicts that. Earlier, Reynolds said that she'd met AFP Commissioner Leanne Close on the 4th of April. Oh, yeah, I was a little shocked. I was glad to hear Brittany had taken the matter up. Reynolds later then sent a letter to her then employee, Bruce Lerman, who Reynolds said at the time she was in the process of sacking Lerman for an earlier security breach. The letter shown to the court said the minister was considering terminating Lerman's employment on the basis of serious misconduct and expected a response. Lerman responded he felt embarrassed, ashamed, and deeply remorseful about the security breach and offered no excuses. He added Reynolds had been his sixth boss during his time in Parliament House, but remained the best. So, Higgins' lawyer, Rachel Young, has indicated she was demonstrated. Reynolds was aware of Higgins' alleged R by April 1, 2019, and that claims Higgins and her now husband concocted a conspiracy to damage her reputation are wrong. That's what she's trying to say, that they concocted it. There's also people that have set up a crowdfunding site to try and support Brittany Higgins, who has everything on the line. Reynolds is not happy about that because apparently she's had to mortgage her house, one of her 4 houses, by the way. So, you know, she's also got a house in Bali. So I have big issues with politicians suing people, and I also have big issues because this was her job. If she didn't do a job properly, then she's accountable. And regardless, if she thinks about what she was going through, she needs to think about what Higgins was going through. But no, this isn't, yeah. Anyway, tell me what you think in the comments below. It's going to start in a few hours again. We'll see what today brings. I think cross-examination is going to be hard for her. But again, she could have settled, she could have mediated, but she chose to go all the way. So everything's going to come out. I'll catch you next time. Bye for now.